Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent, teaching instructor with the IRS. Welcome to my YouTube station. This is the home of the 5-minute or less video. A little about me. I worked at IRS for a decade. I've been in private practice for 40 years. Actually, next month, I have been doing this for 50 years. So I just want to celebrate with an insurer my 50 years doing this. I used to drink beer, now I'm drinking Insure, go figure. Anyway, I have a whole team of former IRS agents. I've been on the national news. Most of you have come to me because you've seen me on the national news. I've been on every major station except for CNN. Just so you know, I've been on all the rest of them. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, all those stations. Just go to my website at 777irs.com. You'll see me in a suit and tie looking really spiffy. I do these videos really to inform you, give you good information. You want to retain me, you retain me. If you don't, you don't. Today I want to talk to you today about what the hell am I talking? Oh, the trust fund tax. I'm talking to you today about the trust fund taxes. So what I want to do is you may be getting a trust fund penalty, or you need an appeal. So as a former revenue officer, I used to set up the trust fund penalty. So naturally, I'm an expert in this because I don't know how many cases, trust fund cases, have I worked? Man, maybe 1,000. Yeah, so if you need like help on a trust fund tax, you're going through a 941 problem, you may want to give me a call. I know what I'm doing. So generally what IRS does is if you owe 941 payroll taxes, the revenue officer has to set up a trust fund penalty. What's the trust fund penalty? Well, it's money you held in trust. What did you hold in trust? You held the withholding tax in the Social Security part of the 941. So IRS, that's the money you held in trust. You took out that money, you held it, and you didn't pay it. What happens to the other money? The matching portion, the matching Social Security that you had to match in the penalties and interest, that goes away if they're setting up the trust fund penalty, which they are. So what IRS does, the revenue officer comes in and does an investigation, and they find out who's responsible for the trust fund tax. So as a revenue officer, I'd go in and I'd see if you're responsible. What I do, I look at who signed the checks, who owned the business, who was on the corporate resolution, who had the right to hire or fire. IRS will give you a form 4180 to fill out. If you're not familiar, you should look at that. There's a series of questions on that 4180 that the revenue officer will ask you and ask other people. And when you ask the company who is responsible, everyone goes like this: no, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it was somebody else. So that's the way that happens. Anyway, if the IRS in fact came in and set up a trust fund penalty against you, or want to do that, and they're still trying to collect payroll and 941 taxes, give me a call and let us do your representation. If you want to do this yourself, that's fine, not a problem. But IRS generally will, if they're going to keep your company open, they will set up the trust fund taxes as well. They will get a financial statement from you, a 43A to see 433A to see what you have, or your business can close and they will set the trust fund penalty up and try to collect it for you. IRS will send you a form 2751 and 1153 telling you they want to assert the trust fund penalty against you. If you can at that time and want to, you can go ahead and appeal. Generally, the person who owned that business and signed the checks generally is the person IRS is going to go after. But sometimes the revenue officer puts a whole net on everyone, and anyone who was in the office, signed a check, did anything in the company's all responsible. They want to try to collect the money from everyone. That's not right. but they try to go ahead and do that. So if it happens to you, you need to get representation. So if you have an ongoing 941 case and IRS is doing the trust fund, know that IRS eventually, if they set this up, is going to go after you personally and try to collect this tax, file a federal tax lien, and at the end of the day, you will have to work out that deficiency with IRS, because usually to set that up generally takes about a year. Give me a call if you need me. I told you everything I can. Give me at least a subscription if you can. I need those because YouTube says you need subscriptions to move up. So I try to give you the information you need. I love a subscription. I love a comment, love a like. I gave you everything I had tonight. Thank you so much for listening.